Good evening. Tonight, we are going to be talking about one of my very favorite books, Understood Betsy. I love this book so much, and I just want to talk about it more with you tonight. So, welcome to Small Home Comforts. I'm Beth, and I'm here in my book corner and getting ready to settle in for another Thursday evening bookish chat. So, I think my phone is reminding me that it's time. So, as you know, I have to get some technology going. So I am going to try to go live on Instagram and we'll see. So if you are typically an Instagram watcher, um, I got a notification um, earlier this week that said that you have to have at least 1,000 followers on Instagram to go live. So I did post that on Instagram today, just to make my Instagram followers aware. So hopefully, you're on YouTube, but I'm going to try to go live on Instagram just to see what happens. Hopefully it'll work. Um, Maybe they won't be checking. But if you typically are a viewer on Instagram, I would encourage you to switch over to being a YouTube viewer because I don't know if it will let me or how long it will last. So um, I'm looking. Oh, look, it looks like it's letting me. So we shall see how long it lasts. But let's hope for good things on YouTube tonight. So, all right, are we ready to settle in and have a nice little bookish chat tonight? I'm going to come to the comments and say hello if you're here. I would love to say hello to you. I see Martha is here. Hello, Martha. Welcome. Megan is here as well. Hi, Megan. Rebecca is here. Hello, Rebecca. Glad to have you. Ooh, Martha's burning her lilac candle tonight. Me too. That's what I have going on here too tonight. So I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's so nice to see you, ladies. So, like I said, if you are on Instagram, it looks like it's working, but YouTube is definitely working, and Facebook should also be working as well. So I put a little note. Um, on Instagram. I'm not sure how much longer they'll let me do lives, but we're here for as long as they'll let me. So we'll start with our tea as usual as we get settled. So let me know what kind of tea you're drinking tonight. Tonight I am drinking, I've got my Mary Poppins mug this evening. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. And inside it says, in the most delightful way. Can you see that? It's so fun. So, it's a little hot, so I think I better wait. But this is a strawberry coconut cream green tea. They don't make this anymore, so I kind of like hoard what I do have. But this was the tea that I included in the Understood Betsy box, and so that is why I am drinking it tonight. Because tonight, I thought I would talk to you all about Understood Betsy. Um, this is one of my very favorites. If I wanna say that if I am known or remembered for any one book, I think this is the one that I would choose. I just love it. I love it so much. So I thought we would, get into it here. Oh, I see Books with Samantha is here on Instagram. I can't believe Instagram is working, you guys, after the notification I got, but, seems to be that it is. She likes my mug. Thank you, Samantha Elizabeth, appreciate it. So, Martha is drinking just plain black iced tea. That sounds delish. I was drinking that earlier today. And Karen is here. Hello, Karen. Karen is drinking passion flower Valerian iced tea. Oh, Karen, you always have such awesome tea flavors to share. I love it. I love it. So, hello, hello. This is my mom. Hi, mom. I have to say, I just want to give a little public shout out to my parents. My parents are so very supportive, and they like to remain in the background, somewhat on these. But I just want to say thanks. Thanks for your support, mom and dad. It means a lot to me. So, okay, so Understood Betsy. This was the book that I picked for my very first book box, and the reason was that I just wish that I could put it into everybody's hands. So, if you don't know this book, it is about a young girl, Elizabeth Ann, and I know this looks like a very wintry title or a wintry cover. Part of it does take place during the winter, but it takes place mostly over the course of a year. And Elizabeth Ann is a very fearful child. She's brought up in a pretty sheltered situation by one of her aunts. She's an orphan, and one of her aunts, and then her aunt's mother, so her great aunt, take her in to care for her, and have since she was very little. Now she's about 9 years old at the beginning of the story, and her aunts are taken, or her one aunt is taken ill, and the other aunt has to care. For her mother. So they have to go away, and they don't want the child to get sick, and they have other things to kind of think about. Um, so she's sent to live with the Putney cousins. So these are cousins and aunts on the other side of the family, that she hasn't heard great things about. And she's filled with trepidation. She's filled with fear, like what's this going to be like? How is she going to manage without being in the um, place that she's used to, and of course it's a very different environment. And she arrives at the farm, and everything is scary to her. The big dog that is there is scary. Being by herself, she doesn't want to be by herself, so she's um, well, I shouldn't say she doesn't want to be by herself. She's not used to being by herself. So she does stick pretty close to her cousin and her aunt, but they're kind of encourage her to explore her surroundings and to do things herself when she's used to having things done for her. And so it kind of goes through some really as she grows, as she learns, um not to be fearful. And it's just filled with the warmth of home and the love of family, and just so good. It's just so good as she grows, and she moves from being Elizabeth Ann to Betsy, as she becomes more comfortable. So that is the synopsis of this book. But I wanted to kind of dig a little deeper on this one, and kind of explore some more things. So last year, when I picked this for the book box, I wanted to find, well, first I wanted to find an edition that had um, illustrations. And so this one here did have the original illustrations by Ada Williamson. Here's one of them here. Um, and this was the original illustrator for the first Understood Betsy, which was published in 1916. And and I just thought, that they really kind of went along with the story very well. Here's the one that's on the front cover. And I really wanted to find one that had those illustrations in it, which this edition did. Okay, one last one I'm going to show you. This is at the kitchen table with the dog. Don't you love it? Oh my gosh, it's so cozy. This book is just filled with cozy details. So that was one of the reasons I picked this one. Another reason I picked this one was because of the hardcover. I wanted it to have a very nice feel on the bookshelf. Um, so yes, that's why I chose this particular edition. But there are several different editions that are out that people have made, and it's in the public domain. So stay tuned for the end of the video, because I think I'm going to do just a little giveaway, because I have some other editions here. So like I said, I just want to get this book into everybody's hands. So Elizabeth is here. Hello, Elizabeth. Understood Betsy was a delightful read. I'm so glad you read it. Some people, I did a post yesterday on Instagram and Facebook saying, if you liked this book, you might like this book. And if you like Pollyanna, you may like Understood Betsy. And I was thrilled to hear about from people who did know it. I think Megan, I think you knew it. Megan is, yep, you read it a couple times and just loved it as well. And it's just nice because I feel like a lot of people don't know it, which again was another reason I picked it for my first book box, because people don't necessarily talk about it as much as some of the others, like Pollyanna or even Secret Garden. In fact, I wanted to kind of draw a comparison. So if you've read this, let me know if you think so too. Um, in orphan stories, oftentimes the orphan coming in brings the joy. So, like, let's say Pollyanna, right? Pollyanna comes bringing her joy into the town, into the household, to to the people there, to Aunt Polly. She brings the joy in. Anne of Green Gables, um, you know. uh, Anne comes in with her imagination and her, zest for life, and she kind of brings that kind of, upbeatness the to the environment. Um, what was the other one I was thinking of? I wrote it down here. Oh, Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm. I guess she wasn't an orphan, but Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm comes in and brings the joy to Aunt Miranda, and I can't remember the other aunt's name, but Aunt Miranda was the kind of the dour, sour one. Um, but in Understood Betsy, it's kind of flipped. So when Understood Betsy comes in, she is very fearful. She is very quiet. She needs to kind of be filled with the beauty and the magic and the joy that exists in the house there, the Putney Farm that she's going to. And the only other book that I can think of, and let me know if you can think of another book like this, because I'd like to think about other titles. But the only other one I could think about in like a similar vein like that is Secret Garden, because when Mary Lennox comes in, um, she's not bringing the joy, right? And in fact, like there's no joy maybe at Misselthwaite yet, but there's joy in the garden and growing, and coming, and it's on its way in. And the garden kind of, it's not magic, but it kind of has that magical, um, life-givingness, for lack of a better word, I guess, um, to um, to the children. And it's the place that brings and the people too, because Dickon is there and Martha and their mother, but that brings the joy to the kids in the Secret Garden, and that's kind of how I felt about Understood Betsy. Um, there is the joy that she receives, the comfort that she receives, the confidence that she receives comes from the people and the place that she moves into. Can you guys think of anything else that that is that way? Like another book that's that way, like another middle grade that might be comparable? Because Secret Garden was the only one I could think of. Mary Lennox was the orphan in that one. So anyway, I thought it was an interesting point about Understood Betsy, about how the place, and you guys know how I feel about places and settings, how the place kind of imbues the main character with kind of a sense of purpose and fills their life with you know joy, I guess, for lack of a better word, but also growth and comfort and security. So Elizabeth is sharing her tea here, Moroccan mint iced tea. It's hot out tonight, right? I brewed mine hot. I didn't have a time to ice it, but if it cools down and I'm not done with it, I may throw some ice cubes in it and drink it iced, because it is a little warm this evening. But I'm going to take a little sip right now. So I also wanted to show you um, what I got last year. So when I was preparing for the talk for how in the book boxes there's always kind of like a book club discussion. And when I was preparing for that book club discussion for the first book, um, I reached out, I did some research and I reached out to a library in the town that um, the author, Dorothy Canfield Fisher, was from. She was from Arlington, Vermont. And what I was looking for was two things, actually. I was getting a couple different answers as to what year this was published, and I wanted to confirm with them that I had the correct year, which was 1916, and they confirmed that. And then also, I wanted to see if like her home was open in kind of like a museum situation. Um, I wanted to see if it was like a place that you could visit. I'm always interested in authors' homes and, like where they came from. So, turns out that she does not have a home there. It's still privately owned, I guess, by the family. But this library is called the Martha Canfield Memorial Library. And Martha Canfield was Dorothy Canfield Fisher's aunt, I think, or great aunt, a relative of some sort. And they had all sorts of resources. And the curator there, I talked to him on the phone, and he had done all sorts of presentations and things. So he had all sorts of information, which was really cool to just talk to him about. And he was like, "Well, if you want me to pop this in the mail for you, I'd be happy to." And I said, "I would love that." So I got from him in the mail this biographical note, which was published in the 1940s by Harcourt, Brace and Company. And it's just a little, um, like a short biography. It's just a little pamphlet, a short biography of Dorothy Canfield Fisher, which was just amazing, to be able to kind of look back and see, what she had done. And this one I heard some more from Understood Betsy. Um, and it says, this is what it says about Understood Betsy. This was the part that was interesting to me. Both Mr. and Mrs. Fisher are deeply attached to France. So this was written when they were still living. They had lived there so much that they felt at the outbreak of war almost as if their own country had been invaded. And they're talking about World War One. In 1916, Mr. Fisher entered the ambulance service in France, and Mrs. Fisher, who stayed in the United States for a few months, wrote a story for girls, Understood Betsy, which has always been one of her best loved books and has been translated into many languages. In August 1916, she and her two children sailed for France, where she immediately became absorbed in relief work. So she was very much into helping and working, for better, better things. So interestingly, she was very into the Montessori method of learning for children. And you can see that in Understood Betsy. You can see Montessori is kind of a very hands-on learning experience. And you can see there's like a whole chapter of butter making in Understood Betsy, and and the butter making, um, and how it's a very tactile, hands-on experience, which is lovely. It's just such a cozy scene in Understood Betsy. But I could kind of see that philosophy of the authors playing out. So anyway, this is a postcard, a picture of Dorothy Canfield Fisher. This also came from that library. It looks kind of like an older postcard. And it says here, Dorothy Canfield Fisher standing in a pine plantation set out by the Fishers in 1913 as tiny transplants, 6 inches tall. This photograph, showing the trees 50 feet tall, was taken in 1956. And it shows a picture of her there. And then he just gave me some handouts. But I want to show you what her home did look like, even though you can't get into it. You can go into this library in Arlington, Vermont. Um, but I just kind of want to, let me see if I can look at her beautiful. So he did this here. He showed me this. This is a letter to her grandpa. Look at her beautiful handwriting. Isn't that lovely? I don't know if they have the actual letters or just some copies of it. Obviously, he just sent me a photocopy, but I'm looking for, he sent me this whole thing, and I want to show you what her home looked like. It's just a black and white copy, but it's so interesting, uh, to see some of all of this information about her. Oh dear, I can't find it. So anyway, did you guys know any of this information about Dorothy Canfield Fisher? Um, I would love to hear. I was so thrilled that somebody took the time to um, to send this to me and to talk about it. People are just so into niche things, and it was just, when you reach out to people, they're so often willing to give to talk about the information that they know and to give you some backstory and things like that. I am not finding it, you guys. I don't know why. um I know I looked at this earlier today, and I know it's here somewhere. But well, I'll keep looking. At any rate, some of that was just so interesting to kind of, and I wanted to share with it. Eleanor Roosevelt called her one of the most influential women of her time. And Clifton Fadiman, who I don't know, but has written that she helped 20th century literature come of age. She was on the board of the Book of the Month Club when it first got started. She was like on the very first board. I think she was the only woman, although I can't remember um, specifically, but I think she was the only woman on the board. And I thought, that works really well for me because when I used it for my first book box, I was like, it's kind of like, people got books in the mail. People ordered it. And so I thought, how fun. Okay, I found it. It is a black and white photo, two of them, but I wanted to show you just kind of what her home looks like because I'm interested in homes here and talking about homes. So I thought that was kind of an interesting thing. But all right. Well, um, I think that was everything tonight, but I did want to do a little giveaway. So, when I was doing the book box last year, I had to order some like samples to see which book I wanted to include in the book box. And some samples didn't make it, but I have one that I would love to send to you. If you don't have an Understood Betsy, or if you have one and you would like an extra to give to somebody, I would love to send this to you. So I have this copy, which I did not end up using. I didn't really love the format of it at all, but this one does have the illustrations by Ada Williamson, and it's a larger book. So if you can see right here, um, let's see if you can see kind of the difference in size is kind of a bigger one. But um, I thought I'd send that to one of you guys because, like I said, I just want to put this in everybody's hand. Allison has said, hold on, Allison is here. What did Allison just say? I see that there's jumping in late, pulled you up on and now YouTube. Would you say YouTube is the easiest for you to see the comments? Yes. YouTube is definitely easiest for me to see the comments. Instagram is being weird. I don't know if you saw it. If you're from Instagram, I'm just going to say this again. I said this at the top of our Bookish chat, and I'm so sorry to have to do this, but it looks like Instagram. I'm sorry, my eye is. It looks like Instagram is saying that you have to have a certain number of followers in order to go live. It's letting me go live right now. I'm not sure why. I figured I'd try it to see what happened, but I don't know how long it will be doing so. So I'm trying to get everybody either over to YouTube, which I think is easiest for you to watch, or Facebook. Should be easy. Should be either one. I can see Instagram, but not on my computer. And I'm not sure much longer Instagram will be seeing me. We'll see. I'm sad about it because Instagram is where I started and where I have been for 15 months, and I still want to be able to connect with you guys live. Um, because I just think it's so fun to, kind of have like a book club sort of atmosphere. But I will say that I think overall YouTube is going to be the most user friendly for this, and I think you'll be able to see me better. I think I will be able to have better technology this way. Um, okay, and Allison is saying it's easier to see here as well. It works out well. Because you didn't realize that. So, okay, so that works. Okay, so you guys all know I'm on YouTube. I'm going to continue to try to do Instagram because that's where most of my followers are. We'll see how long Instagram lets me do that, but I will be on YouTube going forward as much as possible. So, okay, sorry. So that's a little housekeeping stuff to get out of the way there, but it's kind of necessary to talk through these things, right? Because there's no other way. So you all know how I feel about technology, but we're making it work. Um, Kelly is over on Instagram, and she said they rounded me up to 1,000 because I was already kind of had like a legacy thing because I've been doing it for so long. Maybe that's why, I don't know. But if you go over to YouTube, YouTube. I'm Small Home Comforts on YouTube as well. You can subscribe to the channel, and when I go live, it should come right up in your feed. So that's that. Thank you for bearing with me. Okay. This is so let's do a little giveaway, okay? I can see there are people here from YouTube, and I think there's a couple people on Instagram too, so I will look over there. But if you would like to uh enter, I'm going to draw your names. One person will have a little giveaway of Understood Betsy. Disclaimers, legal notices and everything. This is not sponsored by Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, any of the places. This is simply from me that I bought. I bought it. Um, you do have to be willing to give me your address in a private message so that I can send it to you. There's no purchase necessary for this. And what else? Um, and all the other things. Not sponsored. That's the other thing. Not sponsored by any of the platforms. So, Understood Betsy, illustrations by Ada C. Williams, and this was just one of my test copies before I did the book. So, if you would like to be entered into the giveaway, um, just put a little emoji, put your favorite emoji in the comments, and I will write down your name and pop it into my little teacup here, and we'll do that. And after that, then we will end with what we're reading now. So I'm going to take a sip of tea while you pop your little emoji in. And I would love to send this to one of you because I love this book so much and I just want to get it into somebody else's hands. So it's always fun doing a little giveaway, right? So while you're doing that, I want to mention one more thing. I want to say thank you. For the support this week. I launched my some people call it blind date with a book. I'm calling it settle in with a story. So it is I put clues up to kind of indicate what the titles may be, but it's kind of like receiving a surprise gift in the mail. So every settle in with a story comes with a bookmark and some tea and a book plate that was designed special for me and here at Small Home Comforts, and these little corner folds to kind of go on the corner of the book so that you don't have to dog ear your pages, and also some book darts, and it's always wrapped up with a little personalized note in there, so that you can have kind of like a little bookish gift for yourself. So I launched that this week. These are available in my shop, and I've got 7 different titles to choose from. If you don't like surprises, I'm happy to share with you the titles. You just have to reach out to email me. But I wanted to thank you for the support. I had so much support this week on that, and it was just delightful to be able to have that. So thank you. All right. Is everybody, there's only 2 comments with the emojis. So, does anybody else want to be entered in the giveaway? Put your emoji in now, and I will send you this book. Oh, I'll do a drawing and then send you. Um, Megan says, "Settle in with a story sounds so fun." It would be kind of fun, only because it's fun to get bookish mail, right? It's fun to feel like you're receiving a gift, and that's why I like to package it up so nicely. I just think it's so fun. You can order books from Amazon, but you just get the book without any kind of personalized anything. So I thought this would be kind of a fun way to expand my bookish offerings in the shop, as well as have some other delightful goodies accompany it. So I did restock all of my velvet bookmarks as well. So if you are in the market for a velvet bookmark, all of those are also listed in the shop. And I've got a lot going on in the shop right now. This Saturday, I'm going to do like a summer clearance event. So I have from past book boxes, like product and things that I don't have enough to put together for an actual box to sell. So I'm going to sell them off like in pieces, and kind of like grouped with things. So I'm going to be doing kind of an event. So if you're on my email list, you will hear about it first. But that'll be Saturday, and I'll have kind of like a, show you what's available. So I think I'm going to go live so that I can actually show you what's available, but that will be specifically like a shopping, not a bookish chat. It'll be like a shop thing. So Martha ordered Settle In with a Story, and she found it an absolute delight to get hers today. I'm so glad, Martha. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. I hope you really enjoyed the book that you picked. If I remember, well, I can't say it. I can't say it, but if I remember, I think you will. So, okay. Allison put her emoji in, and Martha put her emoji in, and I'm going to put you guys in the teacup and see who, let's see, is there anything over on Instagram? No, nothing over on Instagram to put in. So, oh, Instagram, right? I've had some technological issues with them. Okay, I put 2 in. Ready, ladies? 1, 2, and we'll mix it up, and we'll see who gets um we'll see who gets ready. I've got one here. Let's see who gets the Understood Betsy. I will send it to you. Martha. See, you just got some bookish mail, and you've got more on the way. Coming. So Martha, I will send this to you, and you can have some more reading to add to your pile. So if you want Understood Betsy, I do have one copy in my shop. I have a copy of this one, and it comes with a book plate like this that I specifically chose for last summer's box. And this is going to be part of my clearance, end of summer clearance. I have to get product out from here so that I can make some way for new products to come in. So I have one more of these in the shop. If anybody would like it, it is hanging out there, and if you get it, it will come with um, this special book plate. So all right, shall we move on to what we're reading now? Um, I'm seeing in the comments to enjoy. Megan is saying enjoy. Megan's read it, so she knows how enjoyable it is. So, all right. What are you reading now? Do tell. I would love to know. So, I am reading right now Love and Friendship. I'm not reading this whole thing. I wanted to see specifically what Love and Friendship, which one Love and Friendship was. So, I have read Lady Susan before, which I believe is at the end of this one. Um, yes, Lady Susan is at the end of this collection. So I've read Lady Susan, but I haven't read Love and Friendship ever. And I thought today, on the last day of Jane Austen July, I wanted to get just a little bit of Jane Austen in before the month was over. And so I read Love and Friendship, most of it today. I still have a couple pages left. I think maybe like 5 pages. So I've got to see, but it's so funny, you guys. It's like ridiculous funny. I did have to look at the notes in the back to see. Somebody said last week they was that Karen? I think Karen told me. Karen, are you still here? Karen told me that she was reading Love and Friendship last week as well. This was the first time that I read it, so I'm going to read those last 5 pages this evening to round out my Jane Austen July. Um, and yeah, that's what I'm currently reading. So what are you guys currently reading? I'm not seeing anything in the comments, but somebody said up here, oh, oh, Allison, I missed this one, said finish the Moffats today. I've got the Moffats going as well. That is also a current read for me. Would love to read Understood Betsy. It's on your list even before you realized that I had it in a prior box. It's such a good book, Allison, such a good book. Um, I'll give you a little heads up right now on the clearance sale that I'm going to do this weekend. I have some other editions of Understood Betsy that may be making an appearance and maybe making their way into some purchases. So stay tuned for that if you would like to have some more bookish goodness headed your way. Okay, Allison just finished the Moffats and bought a book today called Doorman Wanted by Glenn R. Miller and read the first chapter. and also 8 chapters into A Rising Man by Abir Mukherjee. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. I don't know either one of those. Those are not, I'm not familiar with those. You'll have to let us know how they are, Allison, if you would recommend either one. Love that. All right, Martha read today, finished Appointment with Yesterday by Celia Fremlin. It was my third book by this author and it didn't disappoint. You're on a Celia Fremlin what do you call it? Kick or whatever, like a marathon. That's the word I'm looking for. Celia Fremlin marathon. That sounds lovely. I remember hearing, I haven't read any Celia Fremlin, but I've heard um of the author, I think from Miranda Mills, suspense, right? It's like some kind of like suspense novels, I think, romantic suspense, maybe. Um, I remember that. But I have not read any of the books, so it's good to hear that you're loving it, though. I love to hear what you're loving. Megan is currently reading Trixie Belden #5, The Moffats, and Miss Reed, Fresh from the Country. I love Miss Reed. Miss Reed is just so lovely. It's like fresh, it says fresh from the country, but she's like a breath of fresh air too, isn't she? It's just like you can calm down when you're reading Miss Reed. That is really a comfort read. Somebody said to me the other we were talking about comfort reads, and somebody said to me once, well, what is a comfort read? Um, and this was like not here, not on my in my online space, but somewhere else. And I was just talking about how I like to read comfort reads. And they were like, well, what is a comfort read? And I was so surprised that they didn't know that I kind of like had to stumble to explain what a comfort read is. But if you know what Miss Read books are, those are comfort reads, definitely to me. So love that, Megan. That's awesome. Mary is here. Hello, Mary. She just finished the Moffats too. Lovely. Did you love it? Have you read the next one? Because the middle Moffat is also good. Um, I loved I loved the first 3, the Moffats, the Middle Moffat, and Rufus M., which were the first 3 of the 4 that they are. And then those ones were written in 1941, 42, and 43. And then there was 40 years before the Eleanor Estes wrote the Moffat Museum, which is the 4th one in the series. And that one came out in 1983. So there's a difference. There's a big difference in between, and she did the drawings for that one because by that time the illustrator for the original ones had passed away. But it's so interesting. It's so interesting to see. Karen is reading Mr. Hobbs' Vacation. I've heard of it, I feel like, but I have not read that. It's fun to read Jane Austen early writing. Oh my gosh, Karen, I was laughing today. I was like, what? This is nonsense. It was so funny. It was like it was a parody, which I realized, but was just like, what is happening here in Love and Friendship? It was like carriages were overturning and people were being discovered, and then all of a sudden they were gone, and here one time and gone the next. It was just, oh my gosh, it was zany. And it was different for me, for Jane Austen. Oh yeah, Martha is saying that it's domestic suspense, for that's the Celia Fremlin one. So I was close. I knew it was a suspense one. Megan is saying, first Miss Read book and you already love it. That's amazing. Good. I'm glad that you have discovered Miss Read. I think she's lovely. So, um, I have next week. I think it's next week. I'm going to share with you my August TBR, and I have a Fairacre book in that pile. So I look forward to sharing that one with you, too. Um, Martha is saying she wants to try Miss Read as well. So, all right. Oh my goodness, you guys, I have gone so much longer tonight, and like I did last week. So it's just so fun to hang out with you here. So I am so glad you've joined me. Like I said, YouTube is now going to be the place. I'll stay on Instagram for as long as possible, but if they kick me out, YouTube is where I'll be. I'll try to keep going with Facebook as well, but we'll see, because Instagram and Facebook are the same company. So we will go from there. But it's always so lovely to hang out with you on Thursday evenings. Um, You can follow me on YouTube. I'm Small Home Comforts there. Like and subscribe. That would be the best way to get notified when I go live. And like I said, I think I'm going to come and do another live Saturday morning to do like a summer clearance sale. And that's specifically going to be shop related. But of course, there'll be bookish goodness included. So I hope you can join me then. And until then, and until our bookish chat next week, I will see you. Thank you so much for being here. Good night, all.